Hi po ulit sa inyo. Salamat naman po at nakabalik po kayo sa classroom ni Sir O. Siyempre po, welcome na welcome po kayo dito. Kaya ano pa hinihintay natin? Tara na! Pasok na tayo! Today's video po, ipapakita ko kung paano sagutin ang mga katanungan mula sa Metrobank Math Challenge 2019 for Grade 9, number 6 to 10 po. At dito sa video na ito, ipapakita ko din kung ano ang kailangan nating i-review bago natin masagot ang mga katanungan. Sana po magustuhan nyo ang video na to. Okay, let's start na po. Problem number 6. We are asked to solve. Find the larger root of 10x squared minus x is equal to 3. Now, before we can answer this question, of course, they'll have points to review. And what are we going to review? Factoring quadratic trinomials when a is greater than 0. If you can still recall, a here is the numerical coefficient of the first term in a given quadratic trinomial. Usually po, ginagamit natin ang guess and check as well as factoring by grouping to solve quadratic trinomials like this. But this time, I'll be presenting to you a new method which I used in my case. Diamond and box method. Example, factor 10x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to 0. So first thing, we use the diamond method. The diamond method is like this. So A and C here is actually the numerical coefficient, and in the bottom is the numerical coefficient of the middle term. So saan tayo kukuha ng mga value ng A, C, and B na to? Of course, dito sa given equation. So first, of course, you multiply A and C, which is 10 and negative 3 is of course is equal to negative 30, while the numerical coefficient of B, which is the middle term, is of course negative 1. So what will we do with negative 30 and negative 1? We will look for two factors that the product is negative 30 and their sum is negative 1. Of course, tama po kayo. That is negative 6 and 5. So what shall we do with that negative 6 and 5? We will use these two factors in the box method. So in the box method, what you are going to do first is you write the first term of the given trinomials, 10x squared, and in this area is the last term of the quadratic trinomials. So ito na, negative 6x and 5x. So we just put x sa negative 6 at saka 5x to work the box method. So how do we do that? Okay, so first, gagawin nyo, you have to factor out 10x squared. And that is, of course, 2x and 5x. Question, what if yung 5x nandito, yung 2x nandito? So, pwede ba, sir? Hindi. What we are going to do is, you have to decide. Kung dito yung 2x, pwede ma-divide siya sa negative 6x. Yung 5x naman, pwede ma-divide sa 5x. So, there is a very important reason bakit ma-arrange itong factor natin in this manner. Okay, to continue, what we are going to do is 5x divide 5x is of course is equal to positive 1. Negative 6x divided by 2x is of course negative 3. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. So therefore, ang factor ng given trinomial of course is 5x minus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1 and 5x minus 3 equals 0. We are now ready to solve problem number 6. Of course, no? 10x squared minus x is equal to 3. This is not yet in the standard form, so we transpose positive 3 to the other side, that becomes negative 3. So after this, we are now ready to factor this given trinomials using the diamond and box method. Of course, that will give you the factors 5x minus 3, 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. After this, we equate the two factors by 0. So 5x minus 3 equals 0, and the other side is 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay? So we transpose negative 3, that becomes positive 3, and we transpose positive 1, that becomes negative 1. After this, we divide this equation by 5 and this equation by 2. So, of course, we can cancel 5 and 2. Our answer now is x is equal to 3 over 5 and x is equal to negative 1 half. But the question is, find the larger root. So, our larger root is, of course, x is equal to 3 over 5. Problem number 7. We are asked to solve the inequality 2x squared minus 7x minus 4 less than or equal to 0 and express your answer in interval notation. Now, before we can answer this question again, so allow us to review ourselves. What to review? Of course, the interval notation. So, example, we have a number line. Now, in the number line, so halimbawa po, I will be talking only about the points in between negative 4 and 2. So I have to decide if negative 4 and 2 is included. So I'll make use of a shaded point. Meaning to say, this negative 4 and positive 2 is included sa pag-uusapan natin. Now, how do we do this in an interval notation? Of course, x is greater than or equal to negative 4, meaning to say, kasali po sa value ni x si negative 4, but x is strictly less than or equal to positive 2. Or, pwede nyo pong gamitin ang close bracket. Ano pong ibig sabihin nito? Negative 4 and 2 is included in the value of x and all the points in between negative 4 and 2. So meaning from negative 4 to positive 2 are included in the values of x. Ang tawag po dito is close interval. Now halimbawa, another number line. So I'll be talking about negative 3 and all the points between negative 3 and 1. Now, this time, I decided not to include negative 3 and positive 1. So, I'll make use of not shaded point because this means negative 3 and positive 1 is not included. Now, how do we do this in an interval notation? Of course, I'll make use of x greater than, I will not be using greater than or equal to because negative 3 is not included. So, x is greater than negative 3 but x is less than positive 1. Or you can do this, I'll make use of parentheses. Why? Because this will tell me or tell you that negative 3 and 1 is not included in the value of x, but all the points in between negative 3 and 1 are included. So, meaning to say, si negative 2.999999 is included, but si negative 3 is not included. While here, si positive 0.9999999 is included, but positive 1 is not included. Ang tawag po ng interval na ito ay open interval. So we are now ready to solve problem number 7. To solve this, of course, what we are going to do first is to factor out 2x squared minus 7x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. Using the diamond and box method, it gives us 2x plus 1 times x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So we equate the two factors by 0, transposing 1 to the other side of the equation, positive 1 becomes negative 1. Dividing both sides of this equation by 2, it gives us x is equal to negative 1 half. And on the other side, we transpose negative 4 to the other side, negative 4 becomes positive 4. Most likely, if we are going to substitute negative 1 half to the given inequality, the inequality will be true. And if we substitute x is equal to 4, most likely in the given inequality, this will become true. But the question is, in which region the values of x, so that when we substitute, the given inequality is true. So there are three regions. The region where greater than 4 until positive infinity, and the points between negative 1/2 and positive 4, and the points between points negative 1/2 to negative infinity. So let us check. So if we substitute x is equal to 5, which is greater than 4, it gives us 12 is not less than or equal to 0. So this becomes false. Now let us try the points in between negative 1/2 and 4. Shall we say x is equal to 1, which is a point between negative 1/2 and 4. And negative 9 is less than or equal to 0, which is true. Now, let us try the other region, the last region. Let's say x is equal to negative 1. Of course, negative 1 is less than negative 1/2. So, if substitute x is equal to negative 1 to the given inequality, it gives us 5 is not less than or equal to 0. That gives us false. So, meaning to say, only the points in between negative 1/2 and 4 are the points or values of x to make the given inequality true. So therefore, our answer is negative 1/2 and 4, and this negative 1/2 and 4, and all the points between them are included in the values of x to make this inequality to be true. Problem number 8. We are asked to find the sum of the distinct roots of x plus 2 over x raised to the power of 2 minus 6 times x plus 2 over x plus 9 is equal to 0. Now, before we can answer this, allow us to review ourselves, in particular, equations transformable to quadratic equation. In the problem, this is actually an equation transformable to quadratic equation. Example, m to the power of 6 can be written as m to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2 because 3 times 2 is 6, negative 8m cubed plus 16 equals 0. So if we let m is equal to m cubed, the given equation transformed now to m to the power of 2 because m cubed is m minus 8m because m cubed is m, 8m, plus 16 equals 0. So now the given equation transformed to a quadratic equation. Another one, standard form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Example, 4m squared minus 3m plus 1 is equal to 0. The value of your a is 4, the value of b is negative 3, and the value of c is 1. Now next, sum of distinct roots of quadratic equation. So in this video, we let r be the sum of the roots. Supposedly, sum of the roots is r1 plus r2, wherein r1 is the root 1 and r2 is the root 2. So that is r is equal to negative b over a. So the sum of the roots is equal to negative b over a. Example, 4m squared minus 3m plus 1 equals 0. A is 4, b is negative 3, and c is 1. So to solve for the sum of the roots, that is negative b over a, we substitute the value of b, which is negative 3, all over the value of a is 4. So negative times negative is positive 3 all over 4. Problem number 9. We are asked to list down all possible values of the constant k so that 3x squared minus 2kx plus 2 is equal to 0 has two equal roots. Now, for us to solve this problem, allow us to review ourselves. In particular, the discriminant. What is discriminant then? Of course, from quadratic formula, x is equal to negative b, positive negative, square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Where is now the discriminant? The discriminant actually is inside the square root symbol. So discriminant will also tell you if it is greater than 0, then you have two distinct real roots. If it is equal to 0, then you have two equal roots. If it is less than 0, then you have two non-real roots. We will focus ourselves with the second one because from the given question, it talks about two equal roots. So example, 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 equals 0. We will try to solve for the discriminant. Of course, the value of a is 2, the value of b is 4, and the value of c is 2. Now, the discriminant, of course, is b squared minus 4ac. We substitute the value of a, b, and c here. So that gives us 4 to the power of 2 minus 4 times 2 times 2. Of course, 4 squared is equal to 16, and negative 4 times 2 times 2 is negative 16. And 16 minus 16, of course, is 0. Now, since the discriminant is equal to 0, then you have two equal roots. We are now ready to solve problem number 9. To solve this, first, we will copy the given equation, which is 3x squared minus 2kx plus 2 is equal to 0. So since we are asked to solve for the values of the constant k, we will get first the value of a, which is 3, the value of b is negative 2k, and the value of c is equal to 2. Since we are talking about two equal roots, so we will be talking about discriminant. Discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Now substituting now the value of b, which is negative 2k raised to the power of 2, minus 4, and the value of a is 3, and the value of c is 2. Simplifying further, negative 2k raised to the power of 2 is 4k squared. Negative 4 times 3 times 2 is negative 24. Transposing negative 24 to the other side, negative 24 becomes positive 24. Dividing both sides by 4, that gives you k squared is equal to 6 because 4k squared divided by 4 is k squared and 24 divided by 4 is 6. Then we will get the square root in both sides. That gives you square root of k squared is equal to k is equal to, since 6 has no square factors anymore, so we will remain that one as 6. So our final answer is k is equal to positive negative square root of 6. Problem number 10. We are asked to find the range of values of b if 2x squared plus bx plus 8 is equal to 0 has no real roots. Express your answer in interval. Now, before we can answer this question, of course, allow us to review ourselves. Now, in the previous review section, we were given an information about discriminant. Now, my focus here is when the discriminant is less than 0. Take, for example, 2x squared plus 4x plus 8 is equal to 0. The values of a, b, and c are 2, for b is 4, c is 8. Now, solving by discriminant, substituting now the values, the value of b is 4, the value of a is 2, the value of c is 8. Simplifying this further, 4 to the power of 2 gives you 16. Negative 4 times 2 times 8 is negative 64. And 16 minus 64 is negative 48. Now, since your discriminant is less than 0, then you will have two non-real roots. We are now ready to solve problem number 10. Of course, to solve this, we will copy the given equation, which is 2x squared plus bx plus 8 is equal to 0. Since we are talking about solving for b, we will try to get first the value of a, which is 2. The value of b is b. The value of c is 8. Now, since in the problem also, talks of has no real roots. So therefore, we will use this discriminant b squared minus 4ac less than 0. Substituting the values, the value of b is b, so b squared, minus 4. The value of A is 2. The value of C is 8, less than 0. To simplify this one, we have B squared. Negative 4 times 2 times 8 is negative 64, less than 0. Transposing negative 64, that gives you B squared is less than 64. Getting the square root in both sides, and the square root of b squared is b, and the square root of 64 is 8. That gives us b is less than positive negative 8. Now, since in the problem we are asked to express our answer in interval, so our answer is open parentheses, negative 8 and 8, close parentheses. Now, what does this mean? This means that the value of b should be greater than negative 8, but b should be less than 8. So the only values of b here to make this equation no real roots are the points or numbers between negative 8 and 8. And negative 8 and 8 are not included in the values. Nasolve na po natin ang number 6 to 10 na katanungan mula sa 2019 Metrobank Math Challenge for grade 9. And guys, if you find this video very informative, please consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button below for new updates and to support my YouTube channel. I will be uploading the next video for this, numbers 11 to 15. So keep on watching, guys. Thank you.